comment that he has.
Oh, wait.
Did you just make fun of
Alright.
just make that up?
He just made that up.
No, no.
Ask Juju how he came to the Lord.
How did you come to the Lord?
And why is your name Juju?
Why is your name Juju? Okay, my name is Juju because my real name is Julian. We'll see. We'll see. But whenever I was a baby, and I had a bunch of cousins, they couldn't say Julian, so they just be like Ju, and then like all the aunts went crazy like, oh my God, we're gonna call
we
Ju.
thought,
And so
we
like
thought you were Jewish.
they thought I was Jewish, Yeah, my nose is kind of big, man. They thought I was Jewish. And so, anyways, I came to the Lord, because Preem has been recording my music for like Preem, about 2-3 years.
Yeah,
So I was doing secular music. I was out rapping for the world. I was traveling, and I hit a deep point in my life to where I was just unhappy. Music was always my passion, but I lost my fire for music. And then one time I went back to the studio. It's been months, and I just released everything that I had. And Preem, kind of like trying to uplift me. He wanted me to do a song with him. It was an uplifting song, and on that song, I said all the things that I wanted to be said to me. And then at that time, I said, you know what? I don't want to rap for the world. I don't want to go out, cuss and talk about drugs, alcohol, partying. I want to uplift people. I didn't want to be a Christian rapper, just speak positively. And during that time, I got confused on what I was trying to do. I didn't know what I was trying to do. Am I trying to please myself, or am I trying to just please people because it'll help me out? And I was very, very lost, and Preem took me to church. He invited me to a men's breakfast, and Pastor A.B. was talking, and he spoke directly into my life. And then is whenever I said, I want to know God. I want to get to know God. But it didn't happen right then and there. The next 3 weeks, I had that fire. Everybody know whenever you get saved, whenever you feel God's presence, you feel that amp like, yes, Lord, yes. I want to drown in your glory, Lord. Whenever I go to church, I didn't feel that fire. I was like, Lord, am I doing it right? Am I, I'm unsure, Am I at the right place? Am I saying your name right? Are my hands high enough? And then Pastor A.B., he would come up to me and says, keep doing what you're doing. You're on the right path. God has great things in store for you. Every time I'd have a doubt in my mind, which was 3 weeks in a row, that particular doubt that was in my head, Pastor A.B. would speak into it, and then it went away. And I said, God, you're real. I give my life to you. I breathe for God. I live for God. I do everything as if Christ were to do it himself. I live for Jesus. I live to know God, and I will die to make him known.
The ultimate thing that I want to share with you guys, what you get. Anytime, I think a lot of times we have, especially as young believers, we have a lot of ties with the world. You want to do the world, you want to do the Christian thing, but it's a big fight between it. A big fight between your flesh and your spirit. So ultimately, guys, if you have any questions, anything, ultimately, God will answer them for you. He'll never forsake you. You can't ask him the dumbest question, like, whatever, God, I don't like cats. Does that make me a sinner? You can ask him whatever, it don't matter. I don't like cats either. So, but ultimately, God is there to answer your prayer, and he does it obviously in the most mysterious ways. Sometimes he'll come to us and, he'll speak to us, in our spirit, or he'll speak to other people. A lot of people intervene in prayer for me, and they'll always call me up at the right time, at the right situation, through the trials and tribulations I'm going through. There was this girl, I thought I was going to marry her. I really did. I really felt like she was going to be my wife. And it didn't work out like I wanted it to. And I really was kind of upset that, I really felt like, Lord, what happened? How did it go so wrong? And this was like within a year. I met up with her, and, I found out she was going to get married to somebody else. So it ultimately told me, like, she wasn't the one for me, but you know what? God has to sometimes shake up your life, and things will come off of you. Things that you thought, that's not the guy you're supposed to be with. That's not the girl you're supposed to be with. That's not the friend you're supposed to have. I'm not pointing at him, but that's not the game you're supposed to be playing. That's not the internet website you're supposed to be looking at. So all those things, he'll start to shake up things in your life, because God cares more about our holiness more than he does about our happiness. And ultimately, when we give up these things, and you learn, Lord, I trust you. He has something so much greater for us. He has a great guy for you girls. He has a great girl for you guys. I mean, he has the perfect one out there for y'all. And you know, I mean, obviously I've been through a lot. So I mean, there's nothing I'm here to hide, nothing I'm here to cover up. I mean, I struggle with it all, you know. As young teenagers, y'all battle with lust, you know, y'all battle with the temptations of wanting to experience what sex is and all those things. And so I understand it. I know where y'all coming from. But ultimately, those things you want to cherish. It's so biblical to understand, like, doing that with other guys, you end up having ties with them. You end up building things with them that you don't want to build up that can carry on into your next relationship. Ultimately, you want to secure that, have that secured, and have the satisfaction of Jesus. Because I always felt like I needed a girlfriend. I always felt like I needed a girlfriend or some girl. But that was my insecurity. Ultimately, I just need Jesus, and I don't have to worry about a girl. And God's going to provide one for me. And the same thing for girls. We always feel like we need a guy. We need to have a man in our lives so that way we can feel like we're needed, we're accepted. You know, he can tell me this, he can tell me that, he says I'm beautiful, he says all these things. Ultimately, God is already doing that for you. When you build that relationship with him, you know, the right guy's going to come along. You know, instead of you searching for him, he's going to search for you. So, ultimately, guys, whatever y'all going through, God's there to lift it up. He's there to make it better. He's there to answer your prayers, and he always answers prayers. So, I just want to let y'all know that.
Oh, Paul did me talking. Richardson, Austin.